When one door closes,
another one opens.
Welcome to the True North Lifestyle Podcast. I'm Joe, and I'm here today with Lee Libby,
Howdy.
Rick Labby,
hello.
And today we've got a very special guest. Been wanting to have on here for quite a while now. Ryan Cowper from Stratton, Eustis area.
How you doing?
Good.
Yeah, Flagstaff General
We're
Store.
neighbors. We're neighbors. Didn't even really heard his name a bunch and just never really.
Neighbors, and you didn't even know him.
No, I think everybody over there is just on a mission. Everybody's kind of focused on what they're doing.
Yeah.
Just trying to keep up.
Yep.
Yeah. So how long you been over there, Ryan?
I've been in the Stratton, Eustis area for 32 years.
Okay.
Yep.
It's long enough to be a native.
You still consider an outsider?
Yeah. Yeah, I don't tell anybody where I came from.
Yeah. I'm kind of curious now. Where was that?
Shit. Salem, Massachusetts.
Okay.
Yep.
All right. Well, like Rick said, you've been over there long enough now.
Yeah.
I think it's like 20 winters in Maine, and then you're a native.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Yeah.
I'd say you're pretty close. Yeah.
I thought here we're getting towards the end of the summer, so I thought it was a good time to start talking deer hunting a little bit more. Then, we're kind of getting through the seasons, and I know just following Ryan on social media, he knows a little bit about deer hunting and shed hunting and that sort of thing, and has some cool stories and stuff. So, what do you do over there, Ryan?
My wife and I own and operate Flagstaff General Store right in downtown Stratton.
Mm-hmm.
It's Sunoco gas station. We do food, pizza, burgers, hot dogs.
Yep.
No bake cookies.
No baked cookies.
Oh my God.
Whoopie pies the size of your head.
Yeah.
Her mom and dad were ready to kind of move to Florida and do something different, so they approached us and asked us if we wanted to buy it 6 years ago, and we purchased it, and it's been good.
Yeah. You tag there too, right?
Yeah. 4 years ago, the wardens came up and asked if we would become a tagging station in Stratton, so
Yeah.
we luckily I have a bunch of CMP friends with a bunch of poles, and we set everything up in like a day and a half and had it all ready to roll.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Nice.
So how difficult is that during deer season?
it's
when you're
hard.
tagging and
It's hard.
instead of hunting?
So the first year was kind of a little bit of a nightmare, but I found an older retired couple, Dale and Edie Dunlap. They do probably 85-90% of our tagging.
Yeah.
So
See some nice ones come through there, I bet.
yes.
That area has quite a list of good hunters that come around there. Oh, everyone knows that area is good.
Yeah.
Come on.
Yeah.
We tagged 286 deer last year.
Right.
Wow.
Yeah, I'm going to adjust that right up to there. You go.
Plus another probably 20-25 for the Penobscot Indians.
Yeah.
So we were over 200 deer we tagged. A bunch of bear, moose.
Yep. What was the biggest one tag last year?
I think it was 270 or 280, somewhere around there. Some guy
Wow.
from Vermont.
Beauty.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's always a guy from Vermont
Yeah.
tagging
Yeah.
those big ones.
Yeah.
I remember the biggest deer I ever saw tagged in Jacqueline was a guy from Vermont, 275.
Yeah.
And the rack, it was in the back of a Toyota pickup, and the rack was sticking up over the bed rail of the truck. Just a monster.
There was a 170-pound
Wow.
deer, and then that one was like 280 side by side in the back of the truck, and you couldn't even see the 170-pound deer. It was just under the big one. But I was shot over in like the Palmachini area, I think.
Yeah.
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 Nice.
But he came all the way over and tagged it with us. So
Nice.
That's that's the first tag station you pass going that direction.
if you're going through the woods,
That's
If you want
right.
to do the work, yeah.
How long does it take to get between the two there, from Eustis over to Rangeley?
Oh, on 16, 30 minutes.
30 minutes, yeah.
Depends if you're behind somebody that's sightseeing or moose watching.
yeah.
Or like you were saying
Or
earlier,
run them in the ditch. But no, I can rip over there pretty quick now. That hot top in 16 again.
Yeah.
Fixing that bad spot. So
Yeah, I came through last night, and they had one of their trucks where all the lights were left on. So I pulled up to try to pop the door open and shut the lights off for them, so they didn't have a dead battery, but everything was locked up. I called Jonathan Jordan there and tried to get a hold of him last night, but he called me this morning and said, well, we're going to have to figure that out, I guess.
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
it'll be nice and smooth once it's all done and said.
That's one of the most beautiful rides. Years ago, I used to drive from Baldwin with my Harley and ride over to what used to be the Porterhouse, right?
Yeah.
When Sue and
Blue Heron Pub.
Yeah. Shippoke Pub there. And before that burnt, we'd ride all the way from Baldwin to eat dinner there. Usually have to camp out in Rangeley on the way home because I couldn't see straight. Times you stopped at People's Choice, but that's one of my favorite rides today. Yeah. Just getting a truck and ride over to Stratton. It's beautiful up through there.
Yeah, nice country.
Yeah.
So you've been there 32 years, and you were pretty young then when you came to town. When did you start getting serious about your deer hunting?
As soon as I moved here.
Yeah?
Yeah, my dad's been coming up since he was a youngster, and his father has been coming up in the 40s and 50s.
To that area?
Yeah, Rangeley.
Yeah.
Yeah, I got a couple old pictures, actually. I was in Rangeley IGA, and I was looking through a Rangeley Heritage book, and there was a picture of my great-grandfather with, I think his name's Sid Harden, the old warden over there.
Yeah.
And my father gave me another picture, same identical picture with my great-grandfather and my great-grandmother with 2 deer over a car. So when I saw it, I got it at my house, and I saw that picture, and I'm like, holy. So that's how I started to find out some of the
there's always something that inspires you when you're younger like that, a picture or something, right? Yeah. Always.
Yep.
Yeah.
My dad, we bought some property, 18 acres of land out there. My dad set me on a barbed wire fence line, and I shot a spike horn. I think I was 13, 14. I shot a spike horn with a 12-gauge shotgun. That was my first deer.
That was it.
Yeah.
If you're anything like all of us, you were absolutely hooked after that first time.
Absolutely
right?
hooked.
Like
yeah.
That was all you could think about.
Yeah. I've shot a lot of 180s, 190s. I got 6 200-pounders.
Yeah. Wow. Nice.
Yeah. 242 is my biggest.
Yeah, that was you. Ryan was telling me the story before you guys got here.
We're like twins.
You got one too?
I think I got my biggest one's 242.
Yeah.
I think I got five 200s. One like 198, one 199. The guy's like, throw a brick in it. I'm like, no, we won't. But coming from Southern Maine, 180, that was a big deal. Big buck.
Yeah.
And, shot a bunch of those. So, but, that's cool.
Yeah. 242, 232, 210 this last year, 205, a 202, and then a right on the money 200-pounder.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How big was the one before I had ever met you? You shot one.
Crab claw.
Yes.
198. I know.
That's got to be one of the best bucks you've killed, though. I mean, just unbelievable.
Yeah, it's a nice looking deer.
Yeah. It had a
picture, everything.
Double crab claw on both ends of the beams instead of it like pointed up in the air on both of them. I got that one mounted at my house.
My God, I hope so.
Yeah, he's kind of webbed. He's kind of webbed heavy.
Yeah.
Oh, just a heavy buck.
Yeah.
No brow tines. I got a couple good pictures of that buck.
Wow.
Yeah. Pretty happy to have that one.
Yeah.
I wish he would have went 200, but it was like the 3rd week. So.
Who cares?
Yeah,
I mean, you kill a buck like that.
If you win the game,
it's a mature
tracking
buck.
them, you don't know. I mean, you got a pretty good idea by the
I
size of the
I
foot,
always
but
say, it kind of drives me nuts with these guys that say, well, if you'd been 200, you'd have had something. Well, that same deer, the first week of the season probably would have weighed 215, 220.
Absolutely.
Right?
Yep.
So you take 20%, that's what they figure, 20% of a deer's weight, and that's what they lose in 3 weeks.
Yeah.
And so that same buck that's 198, 199, he'd have been
220.
220, 225, who knows, 215, but he definitely would have been over.
Right.
Yeah.
My buddy Ryan shot one last week of muzzleloader, and I think it was 160, 170, but that would have been right at the 200 mark.
Right.
If he would have shot it the first week,
Levi, my son-in-law, killed one in New Hampshire with me last year, which was the biggest bodied and framed, just the frame of this deer. And when you hung it up, you guys saw that little clip where they hung him up in the scale.
Yeah, long deer.
Long deer. And he weighed 203. And when we looked at it, we both said, wow, he's 220 easy. But after we scud him out, he had zero body fat. So that just goes to show that and Levi said, he goes, that's the biggest bodied deer I've ever killed in my life right there.
Yeah.
And
well, if you think about it, like the whole idea of big racks and big bodies and everything is about a mature buck. That's really
all
what
it
the
is.
goal is. A trophy buck, and a lot of guys, it's a mature buck, one that you've outsmarted. That's been
all
around
it
in the
is.
woods for 4 or 5 or 6 years. So whether it weighs 170 or 250,
yeah,
if you outsmart that mature buck up here,
that's the game.
then you killed something. you
That's
know,
the
and-
whole name of the
and,
game.
Yeah, and
Right,
I mean,
it's that one end of muzzleloader season. I shot one that was 197, and I always tell the story how it was like at Bishop's, people gather around, for the weigh-in, and it went up there, and they said 197. Everyone, and they just turn around and walk away. It was like 150-inch rack.
I'm pretty proud of it.
All right, so picture
It's
this.
funny.
It'd be like me hanging on the scale and Lee Libby hanging on the scale. They look at that guy. Wow. And just Rick Labby. Right.
We got to Photoshop a
There's-
picture of that now. We're definitely doing a picture of
Dude,
that.
there's probably a few that'd like to see me hanging on it.
Yeah, me too. And we got rid of them two guys.
I'm just curious. Are you hanging upside down by your feet? Is it
I
around
don't-
your neck, or
If
is
you
it,
hang me, it
I
better
don't
be
know. Or is
around
it-
my neck.
Yeah, I was going to say we're both by the neck.
Yeah, I'm worth a lot more dead.
Oh my God!
100 years ago, Lee, we may have been hanging by the neck.
Oh, we'd have been running.
That's a controversial thing, is how you hang your deer, right? How
Oh,
yeah,
dude,
yeah.
almost
neck,
fist fights over it.
legs,
Yeah.
like-
Yeah.
Yeah.
How
You
do
know
you
what?
hang a deer?
I hang him by the antlers.
Yeah.
Always have.
Yeah, I
my
hang them
dad-
both ways.
Yeah.
Guy kicked me out of his cabin one night because I hung a deer by his head.
I heard that
Kicked me out of
story,
the
yeah.
fucking,
No shit.
get the fuck out of here. Excuse my language. But yeah, he thought it was the most disrespectful thing he'd ever seen.
Really?
Yeah, he didn't see me kill it. Because I can tell you there was nothing pretty about it. So, that thing hanging by its horns was the best thing it had. And
melee.
happened to it all day long, I can tell you. Oh.
Yeah, it is. It is
Yeah.
funny how that
Yeah.
draws so much attention. How you
Oh.
hang your deer, and everyone's got their. It's funny because I always saw the Benoits had in their pictures, they had him hanging upside down, but I thought, and I could be wrong, but I thought in Larry's book he said the antlers is his crown and glory or something, and so that you hang them from their head, so the antlers are up high. But then all their pictures, they were
Yeah.
hanging.
I was
upside
told
down,
that
so-
when you hang them upside down by the legs, it helps get rid of some of the blood, or something like that. I don't really. I always thought hanging it by everything would come out.
I,
You know what mean? I don't know.
I don't think, personally,
Don't really make
Makes a
sense.
difference.
I've eaten every deer I've ever killed, and I can't tell the difference. Okay? So, yeah.
Yeah.
I know the longer you hang them, the better they taste.
Yeah.
But if I show up
Yeah.
in your camp and there's a problem with it, you better let me know.
We ain't throwing you out.
The only thing I ever thought about that wondered if it had any effect was if you are mounting it, if hanging it by the neck for a long time would stretch it and cause
Yeah.
any issues. But I don't think. I mean, obviously it doesn't because we've all done it.
Well,
so.
I hung that big one I killed last year, which, he only weighed, I think it was 206.
looked huge.
Only
though. I mean,
Yeah.
weighed 206.
Right, but
I mean, it looked like it weighed 300.
I know, but so hanging him by the head, and it stretched his neck, really long.
Yeah.
I bet if I measured that deer, 3 days later after I hung it up, he was probably 3 or 4 inches longer.
Really?
Just because
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
the weight of his ass and everything stretched
Yeah.
his neck.
Yeah.
And so Travis mounted it for me, and Travis Manley, 207 Taxidermy, and you can't tell that it's got a huge neck on it.
Probably easier
he
for
looks-
them guys. They don't have to stretch that.
Maybe.
Maybe.
Oh no, I never asked
Yeah.
him that.
Oh, I'm
But-
sure we'll hear plenty about it now.
We probably
Gonna get
will.
all
but,
kinds of tips
yeah.
on it.
But you know what? I got
It
70 of them on the wall, and they all look good, right?
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They all look
And
good.
looking back, really, when you think about like a lot of the old postcards, like out of the Midwest, Michigan, all that area, it always seems like they were hanging from their head
Yeah.
in the old days.
Yeah.
A lot of them were. Yeah.
Yeah.
When they'd have 40 or 50 of them lined up, those
Yeah.
big deer
Yeah.
drives, deer camps, and everything.
Good place to attach on the antlers like that.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
Taxidermy told me years ago not to wrap anything around the neck because it messes up the fur.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I always
That
did it
I
right
believe,
around
for
the
sure.
antlers.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah, always around the antlers, right?
Yeah.
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 Or years ago, I remember when I was younger, it was a thing. Obviously, no one does it anymore, but slitting their throat. You know, like it was.
Yeah.
That was a thing back in the day. Don't cut their throat. Well, who's gonna cut the throat of their
Right.
deer when they walk up on it? You know, it's.
Well, they got the old guys that never mounted anything. I can remember a few of them back when I grew up, and you're right. They said slit the throat, you bleed them out. You know,
Yeah.
it bleeds them out.
Yeah.
And
Well, that Norris,
Yeah.
the grunt call guy, he took one out. That's how he figured out how to make that grunt call, right?
he did
Cut the whole
the tube.
yeah,
yeah, the
and
wind pipe.
measured everything.
Yeah, he did. Yeah,
That was interesting.
Pretty
He
smart.
talked about that.
yeah.
And
But that's what makes that grunt call so realistic over any other grunt call you've ever picked up. And like I said, the first time I met Mark at Huntstock, he flagged me over.
Yeah, he
And-
told me that's
Yeah, and he says, try my grunt call. And I'm thinking, yeah, right. I've tried 100 grunt calls. I'm just thinking, yeah, another grunt call. Guy wants to sell me a grunt call, right? So anyway, I walked up to his booth, and he says, hey, try my grunt call, Rick. He says, have you ever tried a nor'easter grunt call? And I said, yeah. And so I picked it up and grabbed the tube like that, and I'm looking it over, and I grunted with it, and I went, wow. I said, in my other favorite grunt call my whole life was a true talker. Well, this thing blew the true and I mean, I've heard probably 1,000 deer grunt in my life between all the places I've hunted.
Right.
Sitting on Saskatchewan, you just watch bucks nonstop running does in and out of the stand and grunting just brr, 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 steady. And I went, wow. And I says, how much are these? And he said, $50. I said, yeah, I'll take one, you know? So that's where it all started. Then I went home, and he called me like 2 months later. He said, hey, this is Mark Buzzell, Rick. He said, you know, great meeting you at Huntstock. He says, I didn't know if you wanted to put your name on my grunt call. And I'm the type of guy, I'm not going to put my name on something just to put my name on it. I have to use it, and I got to believe in it. And I said, absolutely.
Yeah.
So that's where it started.
And what was he was describing to me how he came up with the design, which is he actually copied it off the windpipe, right?
Yeah, the windpipe of a deer, the esophagus. Yeah.
cut it out,
Yeah, he pulled the esophagus out of a deer and
measured everything.
measured the thickness of it, the length of it, and the number of rings.
No shit.
And that's exactly how that tube is designed.
No. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
Cool.
yeah, we just got it patented. So, you know, now
Now we can talk about it.
yeah. As I know.
So back to you, Ryan, and your deer. That 242, did you use a grunt tube on that?
Nope. So 2017 opening day, Maine resident, first hour.
See, there, going back to it.
If you tell
that's
me-
as heavy as a deer can be.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Three.
Unless you kill them during bow season.
Me and
Yeah.
two of my good friends hunting a piece. One went low, one went in the middle, and I went straight to the top. I got probably half, 3/4 of the way up, and I see a little deer flicker tail. Not like running away, but like, hey, just kind of
Yeah.
moving away.
Yeah.
And I'm like, wow. So
Doing his thing.
I just crept my way up and come up onto a flat, and I see a fresh scrape, fresh rub. I took a picture of it, sent it to both my friends, and we figured out 14 minutes after I sent those pictures, I shot that buck. It was like 60 degrees out, hot.
Not quite as hot as it is here today. That little drone you hear in the background is, we had to bring AC and our cameras were heating up.
Yeah.
Shutting down.
It's Maine, hot for Maine, but anyway,
So
60 degrees.
So my buddy's in the middle. He bumps the buck at me. I hear a snap, snap. I turn to my right, and the buck's literally in full bounding mode. And I didn't have really any time to put the gun to my shoulder. I pulled off my hip and squeezed the trigger and ended
Wow.
up shooting him right between the eyes.
Close.
Yeah, he was about 10 feet away. He landed where he landed. He was 5 feet. He almost flipped completely. His antlers landed in the mud. He almost did a complete flip backwards onto his back. And then I unloaded my gun on him. Didn't hit him with anything else, but You always got to
That's the funniest part to me. Is this deer laying in front of you.
Didn't need to.
Well, I didn't know where I got him. I had no idea where I hit him. It was all happened so fast.
So quick.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
But I wished if I had a camera on like that guy that did that video with that buck thrashing.
That was crazy, wasn't it?
It would have been almost the same, pretty close to the same idea.
Right.
You know, but back then I didn't really, 2017, I mean, cameras were out, but not like they are now. You know what I mean? Everybody's trying to film stuff. So
changed a lot in the last year or two.
Yeah. I wished I could have, there's probably been 4 or 5 different bucks that I wish I would have had on camera because they'd be doozies, you know, for videos.
Do you carry a camera at all with you now?
I did for a little while, but I screwed up 2 or 3 times trying to get it on video. I missed a couple real big bucks by not paying attention to what I should have been paying attention to and screwing around with a camera. But I'll try. I'll get it eventually.
Yep.
But there's a story behind that big buck, right? Like why you shot that big buck. Was that the year you got that?
Yeah. So the year
this is the story here. This is pretty cool.
Yeah, the spring before that, I was shed hunting with a good friend of mine, Chris McGlynn, and we were up on the side of almost on the top of a mountain in a green growth, and I see a rub through some trees, so I started heading that way, and I twisted my ankle and looked down, and there was a deer pedicle sticking out. So I instantly thought I was going to pull an antler out of the ground, but it was a blade. And my buddy Chris came running in behind me, and I'm glad Chris was with me because, you know, this is a hard. People are like, they probably wouldn't believe it, you know.
Right.
So he's like, that's an LEB, Larry Benoit knife. He's in Field and Stream and all this, and I didn't think anything of it. I didn't even really know at the time. I knew who the Benoits were, but I didn't even know he made knives. So I just threw it in my backpack. It was all rusted. And I got back home and talked to a few great white hunters, Brad Lockwood and Finn Kangas. And they said, you really got to try to take some of that rust off of that blade and see if it's engraved. So I tried Coca-Cola and vinegar and lemon juice, and none of that shit worked. So I finally, my dad had an old, like a grinding wheel, but it was a polisher, had a nice polish wheel on it, and I took off all the rust. And there it is. It said LEB 23rd knife made in 1982. Nice. Yeah.
And then I think his daughter and granddaughter had something to say to you when they gave you the knife.
Yeah, so I posted it, and they heard about it, and they asked if they could make a leather sheath for the knife. And the only thing they said was after you shoot the buck of your life this year, just put some blood on the sheath for Larry. So I did. I shot that buck and gutted him, and then the blood's still on the sheath right there.
Nice.
So.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Pretty cool.
Cool.
Yeah, that's a nice story.
You said you're listing it on eBay next month?
No, actually, I'm going to pass it along to my oldest son. He's 10 years old. His name's Nylan. As soon as I found it, I knew that's where that knife was going to go, to him. So it'll be a hopefully he uses it and got some bucks with it.
When we were out front when you first got here and you were showing me how you found it, he takes it and sticks it in the ground. I mean, it just looks like a shed laying there.
Yeah.
You know, and
right.
We've all picked up a bunch of sheds. Like, imagine grabbing onto a shed and pulling up being like,
having a blade.
Yeah.
Crazy. Yeah.
I have a good...
So I have to think Larry obviously gutted a deer when he lost that, I would say.
Yeah.
Right?
I mean, if
Well,
it was sticking.
So
it could have been someone else that bought it from
true. Right.
Larry.
Right.
Yeah.
But you have to wonder what the buck was.
Yeah.
But yeah,
that deer.
The way that it was, the place that it was, I know that area well, and I've chased big deer through that area.
Right.
And they definitely shot a buck, gutted it, and stuck the knife in the ground and thought, well, I'll grab that in a minute or whatever, and just left it there.
Yeah.
And I don't know, it could have been the way it was and where it was. It was a big buck hunter.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It was somebody that
I've
knew
lost,
the area.
I was telling you earlier, I've lost 2. I lost a folding buck knife that my dad gave me years and years ago. You probably remember. Remember you would buy these hardwood doors, and you got a free buck knife, a folding knife. 40 something, 50 years ago. when Dad remodeled the first house we ever had.
Yeah.
And it was an old camp, and they gave him a Schrade. I think
Yeah,
that's what it was.
Yeah.
So he got 2 of them. Every door he bought, he got a free knife, So, and I lost that one. I left it somewhere in the woods.
I
And
still
then-
have my original buck knife from
No
10 years
kidding.
old. Yeah.
Yeah, nice. Then I lost
my
one
first
last year, and I
30.
took a metal detector down and found it. Kind of like this. I lost it, and I went back, looked for it, couldn't find it. So I went down with a metal detector, and it had slid down between 2 logs.
I met Larry in 2006. He was down visiting Dave Burke when Dave still had Red Buck, and Dave and Larry knew each other from somewhere, and so I stopped in, and I had watched all their videos and read his book and everything. So we went down there. Hell of a nice guy, just talking. He's telling me about all the deer he killed right here in this area, and then we started talking about shed hunting, and that was early on when I kind of first really gotten heavy into shed hunting. And I told him I had found, whatever antlers up to that point. He said, "Oh, if you have any small ones, you want to get rid of, I build knives, so I need." So I gave him some antlers, and he sent me back a knife that he made out of one of the antlers. I
Still
gave
got
him.
it?
Oh yeah,
Oh, you
Nice.
should have brought it in.
yeah,
Nice.
yeah. So.
Yeah.
That's my Larry Benoit knife that I got. And I did use it one season, but I said, it's just too easy to lose one. So I didn't want to lose it. So it's on my shelf.
I put the double rawhide on this one because this was and I noticed that as I was hunting around, it was like bouncing around. So I put a secondary on it so I wouldn't lose it. But
Yep.
I did it for a couple of years, and now it just sits. I don't bring it out as much,
Yeah.
but
I got 3 of them.
You do?
Yeah,
no shit.
yeah. They're all engraved. They're all the different years on them. One's 2010, I think.
Really?
Yeah.
So you shot your 242 on the first hour of opening day.
Yep.
And you shot 5 other 200 pounders, and obviously more big bucks on top of that.
Bunch of 190s, 180s,
So when-
all the way down.
When would
Spikies.
you say is your favorite week to hunt? I know you got to go when there's snow and everything, but
Yeah, I don't even.
do you have a time that you like?
I like the 3rd week.
Yeah.
And I like muzzleloading first week. 3rd week, usually there's snow. But I think my biggest thing, I've shot a lot of deer on bare ground, and I've shot a lot in the snow. It's just, number one, having the time. Fortunate, my wife lets me take most of the month off in November, which has been a hard thing to get to, but I got 3 babies. I got a 3-year-old. 8-year-old and a 10-year-old. So my life, I was a diehard hunter, but as soon as I started having babies, everything changed to raising babies.
Yeah, that
So
happens.
I kind of faded out a little bit of the hunting, and I'm back into it now. My 10-year-old's right into it now with me, and so but things change, life changes, and
Yeah.
so
All the time.
I have to say, and you can probably relate to this, Joe. After my kids grew up, and I spent, same thing as you. I went through that transition where I was raising my daughters and running my business and everything, and time was just limited.
Yeah.
And you had to spend as much time with those kids and teach those kids to grow up everything that you could teach them.
that's right.
And I noticed after my girls had grown up and I spent all that time, it made me a different hunter. I respected game more. I learned to just sit back and watch game rather than shoot everything.
Yeah.
First one I saw, and
Yeah.
a
Well, a lot of that is because every part of what you're doing, you're being an example to your kids.
exactly.
So you have to be a better person.
Right.
You can't do stupid things in front of them, or you can't.
right.
It's just.
But
and-
that changes us as a
and
person.
I think just
being a
as
parent.
natural as you get older and the more you hunt, the reason that you're hunting changes almost. Or at least you realize what the reason is more. And the older I get, I mean, like going to Alaska, just sitting there, I can just sit there all day and look at that, the scenery you got there, and while you're glassing and everything, and soak it in, and it's worth the trip. Killing moose is a
absolutely.
bonus, but
Yeah.
when you get to a certain point, you realize it's definitely not about all the killing, although it's fun.
Yeah.
You know, it's always the icing on the cake. And
You're
that's
right.
what we're there for.
The kill is the bonus. But I mean, the whole hunt and leading up to it and preparing for it, and that's the excitement.
Yeah, the anticipation.
Yeah.
is 50% of it.
It's just like us waiting for the first snowstorm in Maine. You know, we wake up at 3:30, 4 o'clock, and you know they forecast snow, and you're like, yeah, you know it's you're gonna find a buck track, right?
Yeah.
I was looking at the forecast this morning for this coming weekend, and Sunday it's supposed to rain, and I've got an outdoor project at my house I'm working on. I was kind of like, oh, no. Then I said, oh, I'm going to start prepping for my Alaska trip this weekend, you know, and getting all my stuff laid out and getting everything ready to go. And like you said, that's half the fun.
Oh, yeah.
Is just getting ready for it and anticipating and all that. So
some days I got a moose trailer, you know, for moose hunting, right? And I'll back it down to the garage on a shitty day and open the garage door, and I'll hold that thing out, reorganize it, and fix whatever I need fixing and throw it back in. And my wife thinks I'm a little nutty, but
so you keep that stuff in there year round, and that's it?
Year round. That trailer is a designated moose trailer.
Wait a minute.
I want to get to that point, but I'm just too cheap to just leave that trailer for that. I got to unload it.
It's just
that's a great thing to do.
It's a clapped out trailer. I bought it clapped out, and then I put it through the paces, and then nobody in the field wanted it because it was, it was kind of clapped out, but it didn't leak. So I said, well, screw you. So I brought it back to the shop one day. I had some 1-inch rigid insulation laying around. I insulated it, put a stove jack in it, put a wood stove in it, bolted that to the floor, and said, that's my moose trailer. I went, and there's a company out of Texas. I know we're getting off track, but there's a company out of Texas.
That's what we do, Lee. You go anywhere you want to go with it.
That makes these adaptable hubs. So you can put any hub on a 5-lug trailer hub. So I bought these adapters for Toyota pickup truck because I run a Toyota. So now instead of just having one spare in the back of my truck, I've got 2 on the trailer. So I got 3 spares with me all the time.
Right.
Brilliant.
So I moved the fenders up on the trailer, and this thing sets this high off the ground.
Some off-road tires.
Yeah, and that thing gets dragged through the North Maine woods. That's it. It's just my moose trailer.
I spent a day you mentioned 3 spares. I spent a day up there one time, and I went through 3 spares in one day.
Did you?
I did.
Yeah.
3 spares.
Yeah, freshly graded roads are rough.
I ended up at Eddie Raymond's store, and Eddie's wife would not let me plug or change or blow up the tire. She said she had to do it because of insurance purposes. So I stood there and watched her. About killed me.
Okay.
Right.
So going back to tracking, because you've obviously had a lot of success, Ryan, and there's guys, I mean, they'll track bucks for a good portion of their life and have very little success, and some guys are just, they're on it and do it. You obviously are good in the woods and have a natural tendency to kill them. So I like to always ask this question because guys look at it different. Do you like to try to kill them the first time you jump them, or would you rather jump them and then have like a cat and mouse game with them?
Well, the first thing I always try to do is the first shot, make it always count. I've shot a lot of deer by making that first shot count. They'll go and go and go. You guys know, if you bump them up, they'll go and go and go. And I found, a lot of times they don't even know you're there on that first shot.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
But once they know you're there, they're always watching their backtrack. They're always trying. They don't want to get, you know what I mean? They don't want to get killed. So, yeah.
Yeah, right off the bat. I know. I remember I asked. I was talking to Matt about that at one point, and he likes it once he jumps them and it's on then, and it's like he likes to.
Yeah.
It is fun. In all reality, however it comes.
However it comes, yeah.
However it comes. For me.
But like my favorite way is everybody says, what do you? I said no. I go fast. I'm real wicked aggressive on a deer track. Fast. I get out of the truck and I really don't care if I bump that deer because I want to catch up with that deer. That's my main goal. Catch up with that deer. If I happen to get a shot at him on the first jump or the first try and everything works out great. That doesn't happen all the time.
Right.
Very little. But I like to use the terrain that cat mouse game to outsmart his next move, because anytime you get a high spot or a clear cut or something, that buck's he's gonna go higher, he's gonna go across that clear cut, and he's gonna look back, because he doesn't, just like you said, he don't want to run all day. They want to go back about their business, so they're gonna say, is this guy still following me? So that's where that cat mouse game comes in to play with me, and I figured that out years ago, and I got pretty successful at it.
I shot a buck a couple years ago. He ended up being like 187. I bumped the buck and the doe up, fresh snow, last day of rifle season. And the doe went one way, the buck went another way. I tracked that buck for probably 100 yards. He bedded down, bumped him up, tracked him again for 100 yards, bedded down. Finally, the third or the fourth time, I come around a corner, but I like you said, come around a different way, and he was looking his backtrack.
Yeah.
I ended up shooting him, and he was looking back towards where I would have come from.
Right.
And I shot him at a different angle.
Yeah.
But in his bed.
In his bed, yeah.
It's kind of cool.
That's really good, yeah.
Going back to what you were saying, Rick, that is one of the biggest issues that I've had over the years, and I'm getting better at it, but I have a hard time. Even though I haven't jumped him yet, you get into a spot that you think you're going to jump him, and you start slowing right down and hunting, and he might be a mile ahead of you.
Right.
So that is something that I inherently battle with.
So I learned at a young age that I need to catch up with that buck, because I spent so many days, pussyfooting, that I never caught up with that deer all day, and I go 15 miles, literally 15 miles, because I was going too slow. I never caught up with him.
That's biggest thing is learning your mistakes.
Exactly.
You mess up. I'm
learning all the time.
You mess up. You figure out what you did and try to, capitalize that on the next time or the next buck that you track.
Another key thing that a lot of guys don't pay attention to is a buck won't lay down. They don't lay down very long. They'll lay down an hour's a long time, because they get uncomfortable, and I think the stomach, gets uncomfortable, so they'll stand up. So a lot of times the guys, and I'll come onto a buck bed, and I went, I jumped him already, or he's up. 99% of the time, he's right over there or right over here. I've come to places where bucks, maybe they just didn't feel comfortable where they were, right? And they're like, I don't like this spot. I can't see. They'll get up and they'll move 10 yards, 10 feet.
Bed down right
100 feet, whatever. And so when I come to that first buck bed and I see it, if I don't see leaping tracks,
you're ready.
Man, that's when you really want to slow down right there. I mean, if it takes you 15 minutes to go 100 feet, because you're gonna shoot most of your deer doing that.
Just that little flicker of an ear,
exactly,
or a little flicker of a tail that you end up spotting.
Exactly.
Yeah. Did you have anyone when you were learning, when you were younger and starting tracking? I mean, were you tracking right from when you were young, a teenager, or?
Yeah, my dad was, like I said, my dad was always into the hunting, and I just kind of
tracked also.
Yep, followed his footsteps. He was a good teacher, still is a good teacher. And then, watching all these other big hunters and the Benoits and the movies, all the old movies, and watching them guys, that one that he tracked and then both the antlers were laying in the snow. You know what I mean? Like
Ontario.
If that don't turn you on to a hunter, I don't know what will. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So I started when Facebook was becoming more prominent. I started seeing some of your stuff. It was more shed stuff, because I've been shed hunting a while.
Yeah.
You start shed hunting years ago before it was popular?
Yeah, I started back in 1997. I started shed hunting. We used to go out, me and a kid named Matt Tinker. You might know Matt.
I think I met Matt before. But
Green Farm Guide Service in Copeland Plantation. Hell of a good, shed hunter, deer hunter, moose hunter, guide. So we'd go out, and he would, between me and him, we'd pick up 10 or 15 back then, Yeah. Now, I mean,
nobody was looking back then.
I used to find 100 a year pretty easily.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And now, I mean, if I'm in the 40s or 50s, I'm doing good,
Yep.
There's just so many more people doing it. And
that's still pretty damn good.
And less moose. And less moose.
Less moose.
But I'll tell you, one of the biggest things that I learned was shed hunting, being in the woods. You see all the old scrapes from the year before.
Yeah.
You see and if you start opening your mind to that stuff and you start seeing the things that are there, took me a little while to catch on, but once I caught on, I started marking that on my GPS, and that would be a starting point for me in the fall. You know what I mean? So it all helps. The shed hunting helps with the deer hunting.
Anytime in the woods.
You use Onyx?
I use Onyx. I started out with a Rhino GPS. That was you sold my dad the one that you had.
Yeah, I did my old one. Yeah.
We were hoping you left some information in there, but
some marks, yeah.
But you didn't. But yeah, I started off with one of those. They were nice because they had the radio and the touch tone. So if you were with somebody, you could see where they were. And,
right.
But yeah, the Onyx is the cat's meow.
Now it is.
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Onyx is huge.
Yeah. The for sure, both those two things, the less moose and more people doing it, has definitely contributed.
First time I came here for a wedding, I first met you.
Yep.
I came into Pollen Pond, and I just could not believe the rackers on the wall that you had found.
Yeah.
I mean, some beautiful, really nice moose antlers.
Yeah, those were a little easier to come by back in the day. Although this year, I think I found around 30 or so this year, which, like you said, that would have been 75 back in the day.
Yeah.
But the size this year, the average size antler I found was up from what it's been the past few years, which I don't know if that was just pure luck where I was, or with the tick situation, we had a bad calf die off. So now that's starting to come back around now, because we've had a number of years here where, 38 to 45s were, during moose season was the bulk of what's killed.
Yeah. Well, last year at the store, it was all small. Everything was spike bowls and 4 or 5 point bowls and just all small shit. There was a couple good, nice ones. For the most part, it was smaller bowls,
You were part of the crew that was after that big one out by Skinner area, right?
Yeah, the Moose Crew. Rick Pouliot and
Rick, yeah.
The one
bunch of them crazy
Plywood,
guys.
was that the
Rick?
one?
Oh, I went to school with Rick.
Yeah, Rick's a good guy.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I
Wicked good guy.
love that guy.
Yeah.
I mean, this is back 6-7 years ago, I guess, 5-6 years ago, whatever it was. But I remember Matt was after that one too, looking for sheds, and there was did someone have a yellow Hummer in that? Yeah.
Rick had a Hummer at one point.
Yeah.
Rick Pouliot. He drove it right through the clear cuts.
Yeah.
I mean, just beat the snot out of that thing.
One of the guys in the crew works down at Gagney, right?
Rick.
That's Rick.
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
I met Rick down there then.
Yeah. I built a cabin, helped build a cabin for him. I don't know, probably 15, 20 years ago. He bought some land and right before you get into town, and subdivided it and built a bunch of cabins.
Yeah.
No one ever killed that bull, did they?
I don't know.
I don't think that bull ever got shot.
Yeah, but plywood, they called them plywood because both his antlers were like literally half sheets of plywood. That's how big he was.
Yeah, he was huge.
Yeah.
Crazy. Yeah.
Yeah, there's still some.
Yeah, Rick's good moose hunter.
He is.
Yeah.
He knows what he's doing.
Yeah. Good guy. Wicked good guy. Known him my whole life.
Quick story about Rick. He, I got a permit for Zone 4. Got called for a permit. Been putting in for 24 years. You got called too this year, didn't you?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You got this year?
Yeah, Zone 4. September.
No.
Yeah.
You got a spot picked out to stay?
Yeah.
Do
So that's the story. Rick, this friend of mine gives me a guy's number named Bo Garside, which I didn't know.
I'm friends with him on.
You know him? Yeah, I didn't know who he was. And he goes, give him a call. He's got a camp. And I call the guy up and he's like, yeah, Rick Pouliot told me about you. He goes, I'll give him a call later on. He works for the Maine North Woods. He goes, I'll give Rick a call later on this afternoon. If he says you're all good, you're in. So Rick called him that night and said, oh, yeah, Ryan's good people. And he called me back and said, you got it. You got the camp. So
Nice.
Cockmagogic camp.
Dude, we're gonna have to.
I don't know how to say
Yeah,
that.
Cock.
Well, they renamed it Roe Pond, but it's
Right.
Cockmagomic.
Cockmagomic.
We're gonna have to set some boundaries when we
Okay.
get there.
So cool part of that is this guy Bo is hunting, fishing, trapping. You know, he knows the area.
Yeah.
He told me a quick story about a father and son last year. The son said, I'm shooting the first moose bull that comes out. And then Bo said, you sure? And he says, yep. So Bo calls in this small bull comes out, kid drops it, and he said right behind it was a freaking giant.
Oh, shit.
And I said, "Is that bull still around?" And he goes, "I think so." And I said, "Can I go for that one?" He said, "Yep."
Yeah, we're gonna have 3 tags in camp for that week, but I can share some
Cool.
good waypoints with you.
Awesome.
Yeah,
I appreciate it.
yeah, I've been there. This will be my 5th year guiding that right there,
Yeah.
right there, and all the way from over to Johnson Mountain, over to
Baker Lake.
Baker Lake. I don't go to Baker Lake because that's
It's pretty busy.
Joe's
in there.
area.
It's pretty busy in there now.
My area.
Yeah,
That's a lot of people's area.
and
Yeah,
like
yeah.
Shanzy and all those guys.
Yeah,
like,
within our group, right? We all have
like,
certain areas that we like.
I definitely respect any of the outfitters are working.
Yep.
They're trying to make money.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So you definitely, and the zone's so big. There's 1 4 square mile area that we had 5 50+ inch bulls on camera, and we never killed
Was
one
it a
last year.
fresh cut area, or was it an
Nope.
older?
Old cuts.
Yeah,
Yep.
old cuts.
Yeah. We almost killed one giant, but we had a
Mishap.
mishap. Yep. Anyways,
It happens.
I'd like to kill him this year just for revenge, but I never seen that. I mean, that bull stood there and looked at me at 120 yards and stood me right in the eye, just looking at me like, "Hey," and I'm like, "Buddy, you're done." Nope, he walked.
Yeah. Oh,
But anyways, it was a good hunt. But
That was last year.
yeah, that was my brother-in-law.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There you go.
what was the mishap, if you don't mind me asking?
My brother-in-law is not an experienced hunter
Yep.
by any means, and I think he way underestimated the hunt. Like the first day was 12 miles, and I got accused of trying to kill him. But
I've been accused of that.
So you
before,
have to
too.
remember last year, second season, which is tougher, October.
Yeah.
It rained for 4 days, and the wind blew a gale for 4 days. So there was no calling moose out to the road.
Yeah.
Right.
And it's
It
hard
was
that
a
time of
full-on assault in the woods trying to find one,
year.
being a dummy. And then Friday morning, we were out there, and about 10 o'clock, maybe 10:30, I could see it starting to lighten up a little bit. And about 3:30, the wind laid down, and I just happened to be walking into this one spot that we had some pictures of a good bull in there, and this was a different bull. And I walked in there, and you get to that spot, and you're like, oh, this is a good spot to set up, and I got an alder to rub, and you know what I mean? Like, this is a good spot. We're gonna stop right here. And I laid out one cow call, and he come alive at 200 yards, and I'm like, oh, we're gonna kill him. So I call it the commitment letter, right? Because they're out there and they might be grunting, messing around with a cow or whatever. But as soon as they turn their head, and I know we've all heard this, and they
Start coming.
and they start coming, that's the commitment. Like, there is nothing short of us making a huge mistake that's not gonna get him to come out. And there was a hump between us, and he didn't want to come over that hump, and he kept thrashing. Well, every time he'd thrash, I'd thrash. He'd grunt, I'd cut him off with a grunt, just making him mad. And finally, he shut up for just a minute, and I said, he's coming. And it's dead silent. And all of a sudden, his antlers come up over that. It's almost like he's sneaking along.
Belly
right?
crawling.
And he's like, I know as soon as I lift my head, I'm going to see what it is. So he's sneaking up there, and all of a sudden, he's just like, and I got a picture, and he is just a smasher. His antlers are 30+ inches tall, just big, wide paddles. And I'm like, holy shit. Now, 120 yards with a 30-06 with a scope, I think is pretty doable.
Doable, yeah.
And so I said, Pat, we got busted a little bit because I moved out into the road. And there we are. We're in the road. He's staring at us. He's dead. And I said, Pat, just get down on one knee and kill him. He's not going anywhere. And got down on one knee and fired, miss. Fired, miss. The bull turned. He fired and struck him right in the top of the hump. And the bull looks like it goes down. So I'm like, oh, shit, he's down. So my wife is a sub-permittee. She's just a little tiny thing, right? And she's carrying a 308. She's never killed a big game animal. She's a bird murderer, like,
Yeah.
but not big game.
Birder.
So we run up over the hill, and this thing is standing in a skidder rut, and it looks kind of like it's down, but it's not. It's standing in a skidder rut. And I said to my brother-in-law, "Finish him off, shoot him." So he pulls up, clean shot right over the top of this bull. I mean, his adrenaline and his emotions were just out of crazy. So this bull's got 100 yards, Ryan, to get out of my sight. And she hates that last moment of the kill on the moose, because she's seen me walk up and kill moose before, and she doesn't like it. So she's 20 yards away, turned around, not even looking.
Going the other
and
direction.
I'm like, what? I'm coming out of my skin. Like, oh my God. And I'm like, reload. And I run over it. And this moose runs up into the woods. And if I had known, he turns for some reason and comes back across this skid trail that's 50 yards wide. And I watch him go doom, 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 gone. So we take his blood trail about a mile, starts getting dark. He lays down, gets up, lays back down. I'm like, he's going to be right here in the morning. We go back up in there in the morning. Go right to where his last blood trail was. I take his blood trail again. Sure enough, he goes 100 yards. I don't know how long he laid there, but that blood dried up. He got up at some point and walked off.
Yeah. Hump shot.
I mean, it was high on the hump too.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
you know, I see it when it hit.
Right.
You know what I mean? Because it was wet and just, you could see that. But no,
Well,
that's a good area.
You'll get your chance this year.
Yeah. And it's not, I mean, I don't want to see 1 million people there this year, but for that area, it's pretty vast, you know. So
There's no area in Zone 4 that's not good for moose hunting.
right.
Mhm.
Even with the cow tags they give out,
4A.
I mean, my belief is that, you know, I've hunted all different areas of 4, and there's moose everywhere.
We said
It's just where I think it's more where people get to know an area better.
And
They
they're
learn
comfortable.
where the moose are, and so
Right.
they think it's the best area. But
it is, because chances are you'll shoot a bull there every year.
Yeah.
Like,
Right.
we go back to the same spots. We've killed bull on top of this. I mean, right in the same wood yard where we killed bulls before.
Yeah.
because there's going to be people listening to this that are like, oh, you know, they'll get bent out of shape because that's where they like to hunt too, and they don't. And then there's 10 times more people that
Yeah.
are sitting there thinking, oh, I'm glad he didn't name my area. You know, it's
Well, here's the
So-
thing. Like, if I pull down on the road in the morning and you're there, a good guide and a good hunter has 2 or 3 trophies picked out in the morning, right?
Yep.
That opening morning, if you're a professional guide and you don't have 3 bulls picked out for your client,
or at
so
least
that-
3 spots.
at
not doing
at
your
least
job.
3 spots, right?
Yeah.
And pull in, there's a truck there. Okay, good luck, guys. Go to another one. Good
Move
luck,
along.
guys. You got another spot.
Yeah,
You know,
for sure.
Yeah.
And just go. You can't be upset because they got there before you did.
No.
You might have laid in bed 10 minutes too long, or, you know, breakfast might have taken longer than you thought.
And
Whatever.
that is a good point though to make, because there's been issues with that,
Yeah.
with guys blocking roads, and that is the
Wrong.
biggest
Yeah, you
pet
can't do
peeve
that.
I have. That drives me nuts when guys block roads off. There's common courtesy to just turn
Yeah.
to go the other way when you see it, and I don't want to hunt in the same spot there's someone
Right.
else. So why am I going to stay there anyway?
Right.
But yeah, they've been getting a lot tougher on that too, which is good.
Yeah, there was an incident in Copeland behind the gravel pit at the M&H's pit over there.
Yep.
And there was 2 smashers on top of this ridge. I mean, smashers. And I had an older gentleman as a client, and he couldn't go very good. So the night before, I laid down some scent on this wood yard. Well, he was a little shaky in the morning, so it was late getting started. But anyways, it's before legal shooting. I pull up to the end of this road, and there's a green Jeep. You might know this guy. He was a guide. He's a smaller frame guy. And there was 2 guys. One worked for CMP and his son. And they're at the end of this road set up. And it's a 2.5 mile road. So I walk up to this guy, and he's got to be 6'4". And I said, hey, how you doing? Yeah, good. And I says, so what's going on? He said, oh, we got a rag hanging in a tree up there like 250 yards, and we saw a bull in here yesterday. And I'm like, cool. I says, man, I hate to screw up your hunt, but I said, I put out some scent at the end of this road last night, and there was a couple of big bulls up in there. I said, what's the chances you'll let me drive through here? And he goes, dude, you can drive any way you want. Go right up through. I'm like, holy shit. And if he had said no, I'd have been like, that's fine.
Yeah.
That we'll go somewhere else. But my next spot was an hour away. So he let us drive through there. We get to the end of that road, and there's a 60-inch bull standing in that wood yard. And this guy cannot get out of my Jeep fast enough to kill him. So I hear gunshots blazing down over the hill. I'm like, good, they got something. So we mess around with that big bull for a while, for an hour, can't get him. We go down over the hill, and I get to meet those guys and help them put their moose in their pickup truck.
Nice.
And that was a 50-inch bull, just a smasher. And it was a great experience because it could have gone.
Yep.
I mean, we've all had that.
Karma always comes around.
Yeah, I
Different
think
people come back.
you asking,
Yeah.
there's a lot of guys that see everybody set up and they just roll right through them. You know what I mean?
Oh,
So,
never.
Like for you to stop and ask, I think that, and that's the same thing with like, you know, logging outfits. People ask me all the time, hey, what do you think? You know, I say, go ask them. Usually they're hunters too. They're going to say, yeah, just, you know, stay over this side. We're over here. Just go this way.
Right.
They'll let you.
The woodcutters will usually tell you all the bulls they've been seeing coming out feeding.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
You know, they want you to kill them. But
Cool.
so now that you've blown up Eustis, talking about how good the deer hunting is, your store should be busy this fall.
Yeah. Yeah. We've done, like I said, this is our 4th year, and you know, taking over the tagging has been great. I mean, the business, the amount of people that come in, we do a board with pictures. I take Polaroid pictures and put them on with the weight and everything. So people come in and they just want to look at the board, you know, see who's got what. And I try to post every 2 or 3 days, depending on where I'm hunting and what I'm doing.
You do a good job at that.
I try, and some days I'm better than others, but you know, trying to get out, say one day 15 deer got shot or whatever, 10 deer got shot, you know, you're trying to keep everybody's name, weight, you know, all that together, pictures and everything, who's goes where. It's quite a little job, really.
Oh yeah.
Cool.
Well, if you're over hunting in the Eustis area, be sure to stop and say hi to Ryan. And sure appreciate you riding over this morning.
No problem.
Although you got a pretty nice ride out of it. He came over on his bike today. So.
Yeah, it was a nice ride. A little foggy, but
I'm telling you, I don't go through town without stopping for either a no-bake cookie or coffee or something. The food's always good if you're hungry. Yeah.
Every time I come up to cat hunt, I buy one of those giant whoopie pies.
Oh my God.
That goes in my wool jacket.
The marketing is perfect. Like you walk through the door and there's a rack
right in front of your face.
Everything your wife tells you not to eat.
That's lunch. I get home, Nancy go, what'd you have for lunch? Whoopie pie. She'd be like,
been trying to work on my figure. I'm hit 46, gonna hit 46, and it's so much harder to lose it, you know.
Dude, I'll be 60 in April.
You look good.
Well, thank you, but it's some days you got to drag yourself out, but it does help having a pretty good looking old lady.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
I mean, wife.
Yeah. So 4th year, we've been giving away a Woodman Arms Patriot muzzleloader. $25. Come in, sign up for it. Whoever shoots the biggest buck at the end of the year gets the gun. So
I'm in.
I'll be giving you my money when you leave today.
$1,300 gun comes with a tracker.
I have no chance of getting it, but I'm still going to give you my money.
I put in I put in every year, and I thought last year my buck was a really long, big, thick chest. I thought I had. My good friend Ryan Quincy shot one 232, 227, something like that. He ended up winning it, which I'm so happy. Good friend of mine, wasn't an out-of-stater.
He's a great dude. Yeah. Great dude.
Yeah, you know Ryan?
Absolutely.
He's a CMP guy. Yeah. So he ended up with it, and I'm very happy about that. But I thought I had it. I mean, I went up there, Garrett Moody, the warden, who everybody was there, and they hung that up, and it was 210. I'm happy, you know, whatever, 210, great. But I mean, I wanted to win that gun, and I was trying hard. But I ended up this year. I bought 2, one for the store and one for myself. So
nice. Yeah.
Is it the tracker model or the regular?
I bought the tracker.
Oh, nice.
2 of them. Yeah.
I just bought another one, Woodman. I ordered. Lanny's got 100 signature series.
Oh no!
I think there's some left.
No
Yeah,
shit.
there's a few left. Yeah, I just bought one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nice.
I got number 80. Okay, I don't want to say this wrong. I think I got number 89 because Lanny's 89 this year. So I wanted the gun that matched his age.
79.
Oh, cool.
That's
70, so yeah, 79.
79.
Oh, he's gonna
Yeah,
kill you.
79.
Yeah, he's gonna kill me now.
Oh, Laney's looking good for 89.
Yeah.
He gets around good.
Who did that that little meme with him jacked right out?
Oh, I think Neil or somebody
I
sent it to me.
I laughed my
And
ass
I
off
sent it.
on
Yeah, I sent it to Craig Jakes,
Oh.
Lanny's buddy, right? And Craig's like, "Oh my God!" He goes, "You wait." You wait till I show Lanny this. Next thing I know, Landon's got it on his Facebook
Yeah.
page, so I
funny.
shared it.
Yeah, that was awesome.
Yeah, he goes, "My dad still got it."
So then we also do a this is our 4th year giving away a youth lifetime hunt and fishing license too.
Yeah, that's awesome.
So
You got
you-
some good stuff
awesome.
going on
Yeah.
there, Ryan. That's pretty good.
You go in, you sign up $10 for the kids,
Yep.
and it's biggest doe, biggest buck. So if a kid comes in, shoots a 150, 60-pound doe, and nobody else, gets close, they win it.
Yeah, that's
So-
awesome.
Yeah,
Good
Yeah.
deal.
yeah.
Nice.
All right. Well, we had a few technical difficulties today, but we
Work through 'em.
waded through it. And again, appreciate you coming over today, taking your time, and encourage anyone over in his area to support Flagstaff General Store.
Oh yeah.
Ryan's
Appreciate
a
it.
great guy.
Yep.
Probably point you in the right direction.
Glad you came over. This was a great podcast.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thanks for having me, guys.
Yeah.
Oh
Appreciate it.
yeah.
All
Glad
right.
to have you.
Well, I guess that's all for today.
Shoot straight, folks.